Welcome back to the Tribal Lines podcast, another Survivor podcast talking about Survivor season 46, the latest episode of Survivor that just aired. Look, we're going to get into all things this episode, but before we really get into it, Banu may have, may or may not have won a million hearts, but that episode made me want a million Michelob Ultras. It kind of drove me it kind of drove me insane. But in the best way possible. It was compelling TV, but you could argue that it's the worst gameplay that we've seen in a long time. So I'm very eager to, really speak on this episode. So Steve, how you doing, man? Good to have you.
I'm doing great. Banu obviously is not. He is, in my opinion, the worst Survivor game player I've ever seen of all time. Uh,
Really? The worst?
I think we're a lot worse than a lot of first boots, to be honest. Like so some first boots just get unlucky. He is he just round after round after round was just so bad. Um, I think he got lucky having they had three first boots on their tribe, let's be honest. In my opinion, at least. They had three first boots on their tribe, and one of them has to go first, one had to go second, one had to go third. And Banu ended up getting the furthest somehow. But it was pretty bad gameplay.
Well,
I gotta say.
could you imagine if, while we're on that point, if they were like physically like winning challenges, like and like 4 out of 6 of them or 5 out of 6 of them made the merge. Like that'd be very chaotic.
God, what a
Like
chaotic
Banu,
episode.
Zelensky, like in the merge, like that would be pretty
Oh, Banu Nowinski and the merge. Oh my God.
two things that just don't exist together. But
Uh, but
yeah,
yeah, he wanted to win a million hearts. Um, I think he won the hearts of Jeff and the players on the season. So what is that? That's 18 hearts right there. I think that's all. I think he won 18 hearts. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think a lot of people like him. I think he's a crybaby.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
crying. He got edited so poorly. Like either Jeff and the editors thought that what we wanted to see is Banu crying, or he just didn't like Banu and wanted to edit him so poorly.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I look back at it, and we're obviously, we're here to podcast. We're gonna be hard on the gameplay, but Banu, big shirt, be kind. I'm sure he's like the most wholesome,
Oh
nice
my
guy
God,
ever.
yeah, absolutely.
But that being said, there's characteristics out there that I'm gonna say I didn't like to see out of him. Even someone that you want to root for because he's an underdog in this sense, and he might be like just not socially up to par, strategically up to par with the rest of the people out there. Like just a lot of just things not working in his favor. I wanted to root for him like kind of early on. But then just like the tantrums, man, like the man
Yeah.
child crap, and like the on your knee, we're gonna get to it, but like getting on his
Oh,
knees to beg and like the blaming God, like I'm like, come on, man, like it's a bit of a stretch there, and you can all, you know, you can have a bad edit, you can have a great edit, but like at the end of the day, they can only use like what you say and do out there at the same time. So like those are actions that he did put out there, and like there was a part of me like if I was out there. I would be so ready to vote him out for those
yeah.
reasons alone, because it adds a stressor to the game when it's a game, right? It's a game. But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, emotions are so I sound like Jeff right now, like emotions are flowing through and like all that stuff, right? And it's like that's what makes it so compelling. So when we're watching, it's like a very compelling thing to see there. And that's why I think Jeff loves it so much as well. But there's also that part of it where like you can relate if you were on the tribe. It's like I can't wait to vote you out.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Kenzie's like I can't wait.
Yeah, seriously. The just and like in the beginning of the episode, which we saw in the coming attractions was from last episode from episode 3 that it was going to happen in episode 4. But Banu tells Q and Tiffany what he said on the journey.
Yeah, me
So
too.
like right after finding out that they're not going to tribal, that was so dumb. That was the last straw for him. Like
Oh
IQ
yeah.
really wanted to save him. After that, There was no saving Banu. We knew he was going to be next.
I
Um,
can't believe they were gonna get rid of Kenzie there.
I know, and they confirmed it that they were going to get rid of Kenzie.
Yeah, like, I know she's a threat, but like when your tribe's getting decimated like that, it's nice to have that threat with you. Because you're a three, you can do like a Tika three, a Tika three thing where like you're a three and you try to maneuver from one side to the other. Or what you do is you use the one person who's this perceived big threat as your shield, so that that is the first target. Like Caleb and Emily was able to kind of get her footing because Caleb was the bigger target. Because when those two came in, it's like, you know, are they going to be together? Is this something that we have to look out for? And it's like Caleb was the big threat right there. So like Kenzie could have been that big threat for them too. Like why would you keep Banu there?
I
That's
guess
they
it
it was
for
about
keeping
like
Banu,
yeah.
keeping Banu would have been terrible. But if it was someone else other than Banu doing all of his Banu things, not knowing how to play the game of Survivor, then I think it would be smart because then in the situation of keeping Kenzie, Tiffany's in the best spot because nobody on the tribe is turning on Tiffany at the merge if their back is against the wall. But if let's say Banu went into the merge with them, nobody's turning on Q when they get to the merge. So I guess I kind of understand it from a Q perspective, other than the fact that Banu is a terrible game player and there's no coaching that could possibly change that.
Yeah.
Um, but I understand Q's thought process. I just don't think it would have worked with Banu.
Mhm. Yeah.
But Tiffany agreeing to vote with Q to take out Kenzie, that's crazy. I'm so happy it didn't happen for Tiffany because that would have been the one of the dumbest moves she could have made.
Yeah, I
Because
don't
she had two number ones. Why get rid of one of them pre-merge to keep around Banu?
yeah, like you said, it's like if that's someone different, then that's a different conversation. But
And she knows
I'm
that
talking about
Banu
the
is
data here.
closer with Q. Banu's number one is Q, not Tiffany. So why would Tiffany be okay with that when she knows Kenzie's number one is Tiffany?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Silly, silly, silly. Good
But
thing.
yeah, it was funny with the what Kenzie and Tiffany's conversation after like talking about what Banu said. Kenzie says, why'd you even come out here? He could have gone camping. And then Tiffany says, if you want to go win 1,000,000 hearts, go volunteer. Like honestly.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the Kenzie comment, it's just like Banu wanted to be on Survivor. He literally just wanted to make merge. Like he wanted to meet Jeff. Like I
Uh-huh.
don't think he was ever really out there to win.
He
I
wasn't, which is so dumb. Like, you need to cast people who actually want to win the game. They could have a sob story. They could have another purpose for going on Survivor. Like, a lot of people go on Survivor to, like, you know, figure out who they are as a person because there's a lot of downtime and the struggle and everything. It's 100% can be a reason, but one of the other reasons needs to be I want to win the game or I want to win $1,000,000. If neither of them is one of the reasons why you want to be on Survivor, there's don't cast that person. Like there's a lot of people who want to win Survivor. Let them play, not the people who don't want to win.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. I think Banu was just one of those. He was just like there for it, like ready to go. Like I have this big thought that like, and I've seen this places like that Banu's just like an actor, and he's just like,
Honestly, dude, he probably well, I don't think that's possible because he wouldn't be a good actor.
well, no,
You can't lie.
maybe that's why he's
Oh,
so good.
maybe
'Cause
that's
you're so
why.
convinced that that character is a real person, and maybe it's just not. I mean, I don't know, but like one, like I saw, like he was in like a commercial for something, like a State
Was he?
Farm commercial or some shit. Like I don't even know, dude. Allstate, I don't even fucking know. But what I do know is that, like you said, not the best game player. The worst, I don't know. There, this
There's
is
probably
why,
worse,
and this
but
is why I don't think he's the worst. Is because
worst of the new era, I think.
oh, well. You might be right.
Maybe who else am I not thinking of?
No, I mean I was thinking of people kind of earlier on. But
Yeah, there's probably some people earlier on, but like at the also those are people probably who suck at the game, but they went on. That's when they were casting people for different personalities to be diverse in terms of personality. Now they're just casting super fans and people who know the game and want to play on on the show and have been wanting to for so long.
Yeah.
You'd expect them to be good at the game. Like Survivor, I mean, Banu said that he has watched every episode of Survivor. If you've watched every episode of Survivor and call yourself a super fan, you should know how to play the game of Survivor. You should know that you need to lie to you don't need to tell Jeff everything at Tribal Council. You need to know that you are allowed to lie. Um, you need to know not to tell people that people on your tribe are threats when you said you're going to be loyal to them. Like he preaches loyalty and honesty, but if you're talking to the opposing alliance, one of them is not going to be true. Either you're going to lie to them and you're not going to be honest, or you're going to be honest, but now you're betraying your loyalty to the people that you truly are loyal to. You can't have both.
Yeah, no, and he did not have that balance. And we see that he kind of just spills to the whole tribe everything that he's been talking about, and then he gets into this like moment of like getting coached by Q on like if if Q is Jeff Probst, like how would this play
Yeah, yeah.
out?
Banu's episode from start to finish is probably one of the worst episodes for a person I've ever seen. He tells the tribe that he told Ben and Liz on the journey that Kenzie's a mastermind, that Tiffany and Q are a tight duo. He skipped part of the immunity challenge. He's getting coached by Q on how to have just a conversation with another human being. um, he asks Kenzie, "Hey Kenzie, can you help me pretend to be Jeff Probst and play a game with me?" And then she's like, "Fucking no, Banu, I don't want to play your stupid fucking game." Like, and then he walks away and pouts. He's screaming to God, blaming God for the situation he's in, collapses to the ground on his knees, begging Tiffany to help him, searches for an idol that doesn't exist, cries more at Tribal, and then goes home without even a vote. Like,
Yeah,
such a bad start to finish episode for him.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna send it over to the Nami tribe, but before we get into the Nami tribe, we got a trivia question that we have for all of our viewers.
That's
Steve,
right.
I got to pick a page number. We're gonna do it random. Remind us of how many pages and how to.
I think there is 204, right? Yeah, 204.
Okay, 204, and people can just answer on Instagram DMs. That's the best way to do so. So 204, I'm gonna go with 27.
27. Okay. All right. Here we go. Who was the first castaway to get medically evacuated after burning his hands in the campfire? So, first person in Survivor history to get medically evacuated after burning his hands in a campfire. Submit your answers through DM on Instagram at tribal_lines_pod and get yourself a spot on the wheel for when we decide who is going to win either a max of $50 of a Survivor cameo, Survivor clothes, Survivor buff, or Survivor immunity challenge. So definitely answer the trivia question, DM us, and possibly win some cool Survivor stuff.
Yeah, this question, I feel like you got to know it. If you're a fan, you know it. All right, even if you're a cash, early cash, you should know it. So send those DMs in, and you're gonna get a chance to be on that wheel for when we pick a winner. So cool
Yeah,
stuff there. But like I said, we're gonna get right into the Nami tribe. We get right back into the tunes. They sound good.
they did. They really did, honestly.
Good.
They were good, and
Like
you
Tevin
can
sounds really
appreciate
good.
that because you're a singer yourself.
Exactly. And I can't, I'd like to, I don't pride myself in many things, but one thing I do is like I know when something's off key or something's pitchy. It's really good. Like good stuff. Big fan. Hunter's not, but I am. Big fan. I would have been out there singing too. But
Yeah, Hunter, he said in episode one how he wasn't a big fan of campfire songs. So seeing him, his confessional, and just him sitting there, like looking so disgusted, so annoyed, I thought it was really funny. Venus, sweeping and looking like she wasn't having a good time. She wasn't smiling, just sweeping the ground. I thought that was pretty funny too.
Yeah, I wonder why. I saw something on Twitter of like why do they like sweep? And I didn't really get like to the
Yeah,
answers of like why they do sweep, but
I don't
it just like
know.
looks funny because it's like what are you sweeping? Like why are you sweeping?
Yeah, I guess just something to do. I don't know. A clean area to walk around. So I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's silly, but yeah.
exactly.
Um, but yeah, we didn't get much from them in the beginning of the episode, really just them singing before the reward challenge. Um, we did get a decent amount this episode on Sega. Um,
Finally.
Finally, yeah, which was Gem rehiding the Beware advantage, putting the first clue somewhere to blame it on someone else just to have and just to have some fun.
I love that.
I thought for entertainment purposes, golden, absolutely golden. I personally thought it was a stupid strategic decision because even though it is going to cause a lot of paranoia, like if it didn't go the way it actually did and she gets blamed for it, or now people know that someone has it, so they're just gonna start like not trusting each other. When if you guys go in six strong, let's say, into the merge, you don't want people not trusting each other. So even though it causes chaos, which might help her if they go to tribal, but if they go into the merge, this could possibly result in them turning on each other because they need to vote somebody out of their tribe.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it was the greatest strategic decision overall, but I do think it landed really well for her because um, I thought that she was going to be blamed for possibly planting it because she wasn't helping to dig at all. But Tim was actually helping a little too much with the digging, making him look suspicious that he planted the advantage. And now it looks like the target's on Tim's back, which is what Jem wanted because I think Tim is who the girls and Charlie's Angels would have targeted if they go to tribal in the future. I think that's Tim will be the target for the guys out of
Yeah,
the guys.
I think from what we've seen from Sega, if they don't swap and they go, let's just say they go week 5, I think Tim's in trouble.
Yeah.
I think he's in big trouble there, sadly. But we do see that Maria finds it. It's a group effort. They're digging. No one's finding anything. There's a bunch of ants. I saw on Twitter someone like quote tweeted a picture of where they were digging and said that's where we used to shit. Like one of the other guys. I think it was some like a tribe from season 44 or something. But
That's
I think
fun.
it was like maybe Tika used to shit there. I don't remember, so don't quote me on that. But I do know that that was a thing, and yeah, they were just digging, just aimlessly, aimlessly, and Maria ends up finding before they're before they start digging it. So,
Right.
do you think that it's smart for Maria in that spot to grab it?
Yeah. For Maria, yes. I think that she doesn't have a target on her back because she's so well integrated. So many people want to work with her. Um, the fact that she did, and we'll talk about this in a second, how she did so bad in the reward challenge, and she also now possibly has an advantage. I I think those two things are not at all going to affect her because she's in such a great social spot. Like there's some things that you can do in the game of Survivor that if you're on the bottom, it's going to put you even further on the bottom. But if you're on the top, it's going to do absolutely nothing, and you're going to stay on the top. And I think that's exactly what's happening with Maria. If she actually did truly find a beware advantage in front of everybody, and now she'll eventually have an idol, I think that it is good for her because she's already in a great position. Nobody wants to vote her out, and people are going to want to keep her in the game because of her advantage rather than target her for her advantage. So I think it was smart for her to go for it. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I feel like she's one of the best people to grab it on that tribe. Like I think like if I'm Charlie, I'm glad that she grabbed it. If it wasn't me,
Mm-hmm.
thing. Yeah, because I think like think about it, because her vote's gone right unless she finds it. Is that
Not yet. because only the first part of the beware advantage was shown, which was dig under where you found this. That's all it said. So it
Oh,
didn't say you lost your vote. So
interesting.
she still doesn't know if she lost her vote yet because she needs to find the next part of the beware advantage, which is smart for Jem not to have hidden the you lost your vote thing, because then Maria would think she lost her vote, which would
Yeah.
have been bad. I think just the idea of there's a beware advantage out there and they can't find it is what's causing the chaos. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with the gem move. I'm with Maria because had she even lost her vote, I feel like it's okay maybe for one, it's okay even if that she lost it for a tribal because um Charlie just kind of becomes the swing there if the boys and the girls vote together. And you got to think that the way that they've shown us of, their relationship, she would have a lot of say in the way that Charlie votes. I'm not saying she would dictate it, but I feel like she would be comfortable with like I feel like he's gonna vote wherever they feel good, not where just he feels good. Uh,
Right. I think he'll definitely have it a leg up. So I feel like if that was the case and Maria was not super dead set on one alliance or the other, I think Charlie would make the final decision for them.
yeah,
But if Maria was like, I definitely want us to work with this group, um, then I think Charlie would have done whatever Maria wanted. But if Maria was indifferent, I think Charlie would have made the final decision because he did have his vote. But that wouldn't have happened anyway because Maria has an extra vote from the first journey in episode 1.
right.
So she I don't think she would have used it because they would have known that it was probably going to be 5 people voting, 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and Charlie in the middle. So Charlie's vote would have been like Maria's vote in that case.
Yeah.
Um, and then she could have saved her extra vote. But if she wanted to vote, she could have, even if she lost her vote from the beware advantage. Speaking of that, though, if you lose your vote but you have an extra vote,
I don't think you can use it.
can you use the shot in the dark?
No.
No, right? That's what I would think.
I don't think even if you yeah, I don't even think, if you lose your vote, if you have an extra vote, I don't think you can use that extra vote as a vote. I think
Oh,
that
you 100% can.
you can.
Yeah. Because if you lose your vote, you still have to go up to the voting podium, the voting booth, and then it'll say like you don't have your vote. But then if you have an extra vote, now you have a vote.
Okay. I
So
thought
that like if you lose your vote, you just can't put a vote in the urn. But the vote that you normally would get going into a tribal. But if you had an extra vote, you can use it. The problem is like if you can't use your shot in the dark. Like you need to have your original vote in order to use the shot in the dark. You can't like be like, here's my extra vote. I'm giving it to you guys so that I can play my shot in the dark. Like I don't think you can exchange it.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Let's
get
hop
this
into this
reward
reward
challenge.
challenge.
Yes, Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Fuck you.
What'd you
I said, Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
say? I'll get you a Coke next time I see you.
Let's go. But yeah, let's get into the reward challenge. Yanu.
Oh my God,
It barely
Yanu, their
matters.
first win.
If only it could be a win that keeps you away from tribal.
I know, dude. Of course, the one time they win, it's not an immunity challenge. That's crazy.
Sucks.
That I mean, I like reward challenges, but at the same time, it's unfair, I feel like, to the people who win the reward challenges but lose the immunity challenge just because like of luck, kind of like that the challenge you lost ended up being the more important one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I kind of like rewards being a part of the immunity challenge. So like the winner, whoever gets first place gets immunity and gets the bigger reward, and then second place gets a smaller reward, and then nothing for um the losing tribe. And instead of getting their flint taken away, they just get no reward. That's what I think it should be. Um, but but yeah, the reward, they did have a reward challenge. Yanu gets first place, um, and unfortunately cannot take the fish because they have no flint. So they have to trade it in for the what was it? The building supplies and the tarp.
Yeah, they had to trade it in because they don't have flint to make fire. Hella unfortunate, but at the same time, at least they got something. You'd think that morale would carry over. We'll see that it eventually in that and inevitably doesn't because it's Yanu and they only know tribal council. But
Yeah.
before, we skip over this whole thing, I mean, for me, like, dude, Tim was about to get medevaced.
Dude, Tim, oh my God, jumping on the platform, making it flip over, had to flip it back over, kept trying to climb back on it, and kept
Like,
flipping
what do
over.
you think this
Like,
fucking is? Subway Surfers? Like, I don't.
yeah. Why they choose Tim to do that? They should have chosen the lightest person, which is Jem. Jem should have been doing that, not Tim.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I
do
thought
know
that
is that
was
was dumb because I thought he was gonna get hurt. It could have, dude. If he
yeah.
landed it, that would have been sick. We would have been like, that was so sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. I and
The
you
fact that he
see
didn't land it, he kind of looked silly.
what Ben said on the sideline. He was like, "Oh, that's so smart."
Yeah.
He probably did think it was smart. He probably was like, "Oh, like because then you can go underneath and untie it." But then Jeff's like, "No, you gotta flip it back over."
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
nuts.
I thought that was really funny. I was like yelling at the screen, like, "Tim, switch out for Jem. What are you fucking doing?"
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that.
But yeah, and then Maria losing it for her tribe, couldn't get
Going
the
back to that
ring.
social status that we're talking about earlier on, it didn't seem to matter.
It didn't seem to matter. Everyone
It's
was
the
like, "It's
uh
okay, no worries."
it's the vibe tribe, man.
It's the vibe tribe.
We're
Ben
crying in
brings
baseball.
vibes,
It's okay.
and yeah.
Crazy.
And then after the reward challenge, we get to see the second place winners who actually do get the fish, Nami. And Tevin has a little bit of a sob story about his dad dying and that he used to fish with his dad and now he can prepare the fish just like his dad taught him. And usually I hate the sob stories because there's always people crying every single time. And I'm like, all right, chill out. Like
Yeah.
we don't need to see this. Let's see the strategy. But this sob story I actually liked because for the first time ever, someone didn't cry in a confessional talking about the goddamn sob story. And
Not
this
only
was
that, it was relatable to what was going on in the game.
and exactly that too. Like when it's just like out of the blue, you just get someone's sob story, but this actually it connected with what was going on with the whole fish. Um, I
It was a true
definitely
story.
it was he said it so nonchalantly, saying like how what was really tough for him was that his dad used to always call him, and then after the day he died, like it was difficult not hearing a ring from his
Yeah.
phone. That definitely was tough to hear, but um, he, I mean, he showed his emotion that it was like difficult for him, but he didn't cry. So I liked that about the sob story, and it related to the fish, so it was good. It was all good.
Yeah, no, that was a good story. Tevin is awesome. Fantastic storyteller, fantastic
He is.
strategist, playing a killer game. Every time Tevin's on my screen, I'm enjoying what we're seeing. And his Sodar is on.
His
Uh,
soda is on, and that's why that this is one of the parts where I think his game slips up a little bit.
yeah, go ahead. What do you think?
Because
I think the opposite.
really okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. But yeah, he sees Soda talking one on one with everybody, and he thinks that she's playing too hard, is nervous that she might be playing him, wants to get Soda out, and gets Hunter and Liz on board because Hunter wants to have Tevin all to himself and is nervous about the whole Soda Tevin relationship, and Liz thinks Soda will make Final Tribal Council if she makes the merge, so she wants to get her out as soon as possible. I personally think this would be a stupid move for Tevin and also for Hunter, kind of too, because they have a tight three right now with Soda. And why break that up for Liz and for Venus, who they none of them trust Venus. So why if someone who like some people say, do you want to get rid of the I don't know exactly what the saying is, but it like kind of along the lines of like, do you want to get rid of the person who you know is going to be gunning for you and is not working with you, or the person who might be working with you or might not be, and you don't know where they stand exactly? I'd rather the person that I don't know where they stand because I could possibly convince them to be on my side. The person that is definitely not on my side, I'd rather get them out than someone who you don't know if they're on your side or not. That's
Well,
just what I'm thinking. So I feel like Venus would be the better option than Soda if you think Soda might not be with you when, or maybe she is with you, but you know Venus is not going to be.
well, this is why I disagree. This is why I think this is good for everybody, the other four, to take out Soda.
Okay.
Specifically Tevin and in a way Hunter and Liz, maybe on the same scale, but specifically Tevin. She is socially Tevin. They are very captivating. They are very one on one. They are very, and Hunter is worried about Soda because he's fighting for that. He wants to be Tevin's number one. Hunter's playing the game really well, right?
Mhm.
And if I'm Liz as well, it's one of those things like she said it to us what she felt. So I don't even have to elaborate on that. And as far as Venus, Venus might think that she has Soda, but Soda thinks she's in that three. So it's like one of those things where all Tevin has to do is go up to Venus and say, Soda's targeting you. Liz is already on board with the two of them. You want to take out Soda because when it comes to a merge, like she might gravitate more than Tevin and be able to turn on Tevin before he has the chance to turn on her because they might be fighting for the same social spot in a lot of different like places in the game. And I think that like it's one of those things where you can easily just tell Venus Soda's coming for you, and she's gonna vote with the majority because who else does Venus have now? Brandon's gone.
Well, 100% Venus would vote with them
Yeah,
to take out Soda, but it's
I think
like,
it's.
do you want Venus in your alliance compared to Soda?
She
Like,
doesn't even have to be. I would. I actually. I would.
really
Yeah, I would.
interesting.
Yeah, because Venus is gonna be a bigger target than Soda would be going into a merge, in my opinion.
Well, Venus is good. Like she said, I think it was episode one, maybe episode two. I don't
Lies
remember.
that threat until it's time for you to just take that threat out as well.
I just think Venus is going to want to flip. Venus doesn't really like anyone on the tribe. So Venus is going to flip to another alliance and try to target Nami. I don't know. Like
Venus is giving last
I
creature.
don't disagree with Soda being one of the next two to be voted out. But if you only go to tribal once, I think bringing Venus into the merge is just losing a number for you. When bringing Soda into the merge, at least you have a number for the early parts of the merge. Then maybe she tries to turn on you, but at that point, hopefully Tevin can strike first. So I don't disagree with Tevin targeting Soda. I just think just like Q targeting Kenzie is too early, I think targeting Soda this early is also too early. And but yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. See what ends up happening. I would rather Soda go home than Venus. I'd rather watch Venus. I think it would be a poor move for Tevin and Hunter to take out Soda, but in terms of entertainment value and the players that I'm enjoying watching the most, I prefer them take out Soda.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Venus is gonna end up doing great in this game, to be honest.
we'll
I
see.
think she'll make it
I
far.
think. I think she's gonna be the last pre-juror.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. So do you think that so you think Venus is gonna be like an early merge target?
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting.
Like earn the merge boot or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
I
in the
just
J Maya spot, like you know what I mean? Like
yeah, I hope that actually that makes sense because what if Nami like in order, let's say it's like the Mergatory where like some of them are possibly going to be voted out, and let's say Nami has most of the people in the group that can still be eliminated, they're going to want to protect themselves, and the easiest way to get the other two tribes to not vote for them is to vote out someone else on their tribe, because if
yeah.
they're turning on their own tribe, the other two tribes are going to be like, all right, sure. So then I can see Venus possibly being a boot there. Um, but then if Venus is not in that situation where Nami would want to turn on her, and the other groups would be okay with it. If Venus has enough time to make social bonds with the other tribes, then I think Venus could make it far and be like a crucial swing vote between maybe the other alliances, or find a home with either Siga, or probably with Siga, I feel like. Um, with the girls in Siga, I'm guessing like Charlie, Maria, Jem, Mariah. I think Venus would fit in well with them, maybe.
I don't know. I'd have to see how it shakes out more, but
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
But yeah, let's get back to Banu.
Ugh.
Q coaching Banu on how to talk
Getting-
to Jeff at Tribal, how to talk to other players if they make the merge together. Banu wants to practice with Kenzie. She snaps at him. Didn't want to help Banu, and that because she just wanted time to rest. She didn't want to have to be constantly teaching someone who's 15 years older than her how to play the game Survivor when they're literally on Survivor. Like, you're supposed to have an idea of how to play going into it. You shouldn't have to learn while you're actually on the show.
Yeah,
So
I mean, there's
definitely,
100 different ways to play. It's just whether you're playing bad or good. And it's just
yeah,
it
and
got to
he
the
doesn't
point where
even know how to play.
he exhausted them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like that they hated him or that like whatever, like he was a burden of any sense. No. What I'm saying is that his energy towards the end of his run was exhausting. I was exhausted of seeing it. It was
Oh, me
a
too.
lot. And I hope that he got what he wanted out of the journey. I know that he's probably a stand-up guy, kind person, but at the end of the day, like Kenzie snapped and like, that's one, it's neither here nor there. It's one of those things of like the way that he played like after it, he was just like he just walked off and just like moped and I just like what do you like you can't have it all, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
saying like, oh,
tough to talk about
he's a
that
puppet. They're
without
all
being,
like using him as a puppet or whatever. It was like, yeah, because you don't know how to play the game. Like, what do you expect? Like, I don't know. But then she realizes that she has to go apologize because Banu is super emotional, probably thinks the entire world hates him right now, because Kenzie said that she wanted 5 minutes before uh pretending to be Jeff Probst. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's wild. And yeah, the fact that he's watched every single episode of Survivor is like crazy for the way he was playing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we go over to the Sia tribe a bit and Mariah can't jump. That's
That
pathetic.
was fun.
Because like she could definitely jump. Like that was like a little exaggerated there for me.
I
Like
don't know. I really think she can't. Some people just can't jump. That I
I
think
don't
Nikki
get that.
go
Some people
bananas.
can't smell.
Yep.
Some people
I wonder who.
I
Yeah,
don't know. We don't
yeah, I
know.
can't smell, so
Yeah. No, but I mean I just was like, what? Like I've never seen such a thing. I can't jump well, but I can jump. Like she couldn't even get off the ground.
yeah, she barely got off the ground, like seriously.
Yeah. But it was like, at the same time, it's like a lighthearted, but it's very fitting for that tribe. Like, that is that tribe. Like, they just jump and laugh and
Yeah, it's
talk
the
about
Vibe Tribe,
Taylor
like you
Swift
said
and
earlier, the
AC/DC.
Vibe Tribe.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more strategy within, like, a lot of them. I want to see them make some decisions.
I don't want any of them to go home, so I
I
don't
do.
want them to go to tribal, but at the same time, if they go to tribal, it'll definitely be interesting dynamics. So I would like to see what it would be like if they go to tribal, but at the same time, I like all their personalities. I want to see them all at the merge. So we'll see. I definitely want to see Nami go to tribal.
I
Because
like
that
to see
also
them all
is going
touch
to
at
be very
once.
interesting.
I like
Because
to
there's
see
no
every
good
starting
alliances
tribe
there.
go to tribal.
What?
I like to see every starting tribe go to tribal at least once.
Yeah, seriously. Like, it's actually also with the beware advantages. What if they, by the time it's the mergatory, they don't go to tribal? Then what happens with the beware advantage? Because it says after you lose your next immunity challenge, then like go back to the spot where you found this.
I have no
So
idea.
if they go to the mergatory, they're all going to be living on the same beach. If it's not the beach that you were just on, what happens? I guess new instructions, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Let's
don't
see.
know. I
But
think that was also a flaw with the Beware advantage because you're expecting everybody's going to go to tribal, but that doesn't always happen.
yeah, I mean, we've seen that it probably like it doesn't happen all the time within the last three
Yeah, yeah,
formats.
exactly. And I feel like a lot of these episodes lately have been like just so much longer than they have to be. Like, obviously, I like seeing the little fun things that you would never normally see on an episode, but um,
This one's
it's like
dragged.
it's just it keeps getting. I feel like it's dragged on. Like they didn't know going into 46 that it was going to be hour and a half long episodes. They thought that it probably would go back to an hour, so they didn't plan for having enough stuff for an hour and a half. So when it was an hour and a half, I feel like they're like trying to make it an hour and a half the best they could, and I that's why it's kind of feeling a little too long to me. I feel like this episode in particular showed way too much Banu when it was just the same thing repeated over and over again. Oh, they won't include me in strategy. Oh God, why would you do this to me? Like uh, going on his knees in front of Tiffany, please help me, asking Kenzie, please, can you help me find an idol? Like, first of all, why would they help you find an idol for then
Last ditch effort,
one
bro.
of them to now be going home if
Yeah,
that was the case? Like,
yeah, no, it was silly, but
but
yeah,
yeah, I feel like this episode was dragged out way too much. They could have cut it down a lot, but they had to fill the hour and a half slot somehow. So they showed a lot of Banu. Um, it's I'm glad Banu's no longer in the game. It's okay for us to have a lot of the crying Banu the past couple episodes, but I did not want that the entire season. If he somehow ended up being a goat and getting dragged to the end, we would have had Banu crying in every episode. So I'm glad he got all of his crying out in the first few episodes. Now we can move on with the season. Um, and yeah,
love it.
so let's get to this immunity challenge.
Mhm.
So, like we were talking about very earlier on in the podcast, Banu literally skipped over jumping off the crate, which was so dumb. And he got up on the platform and then he went around the crates and then jumped off.
Yeah, I would be so upset if I did that. That's so embarrassing.
So
That's like the
embarrassing.
first time that I can remember in a while that Jeff like called out someone for doing something wrong in the challenge.
You know why?
Why?
Because nobody does something wrong in the challenge. That was so stupid, Banu. I can't believe it was so obvious that you had to jump over a crate and you didn't jump over the crate. Like, what is the crate there for then, Banu?
Yeah, adrenaline. I don't know.
But
Yeah,
yeah, and then like later in the challenge, um, he was rebounding super slow and had to get swapped out for Tiffany. That was embarrassing also.
and Hunter's a beast.
Oh my God, Hunter. He's the Jonathan of this season.
Yeah,
Bring back the
I didn't
Jonathan.
expect like that. I thought he would be like one of the better physique men, but I didn't expect him to be like this huge challenge beast.
Me
Like
neither.
I feel like he's gonna win like 5 immunities. I don't know. Like he might.
That would be awesome. I would like that. I would
Yeah, I
enjoy
mean,
watching.
I like him a lot. I think he's cool. I think he's chill. Like, you know what I mean? Like he knows what he's doing out there. He knows what he wants out there. He knows like what's gonna like he's playing a intentionally more quiet or more subtle game, which I think is very smart for his archetype.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but we see that he almost like lands on the platform. He like
Yeah,
very big. Tevin says, once Hunter gets those balls in his hands, it's over. He was right. He fucking bossed that up like very quickly. Like Hunter's a G.
he is. Yeah, that was awesome, and he did it underhand too, which was also pretty cool. And I don't know if it was just the editing, but it seemed like he like landed his shots like on his first or second try for
Probably
all,
did. He probably
for
did.
all,
Yeah.
which was wild. I also thought it was interesting seeing Ben with his shirt off. He had like a huge bandage on his
Tattoo.
chest. Yeah, because like this happened in Big Brother in season 25 of Big Brother where Matt had like on his back had a tattoo that couldn't be shown on air. So he had to have a bandage on every time he had his shirt off. I think that's the same case with Ben. He must have a tattoo right there that just can't be shown on TV because I
Yeah.
don't think I don't think he would have had like big scratch where he
No,
would
he
have
said on
been.
Twitter it was a TV. I mean, a
It
TV,
was
a
it was
tattoo.
that too. Yeah, okay. That's what I figured. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So
Yeah. So Yanu, four immunity losses in a row, which is insane. Um, you would think they would have now two people, but they got lucky with the Randon thing. Um, I
bad.
actually wanted to ask you about that. Do you think that if you lose an immunity challenge, no matter if there's medevacs, you should go to tribal? Or do you think
Yeah, they should go to tribal. They
you,
lost.
because if that's the case, which I think is why Survivor doesn't do it, and they will not have them go to tribal so that only one person goes home that episode, because they have a format set in
Yeah.
stone already, and if they make two people go home that round, then if they have a double elimination twist in the future, they have to now not do that twist, which was probably like something they were really excited about or had already planned for and didn't plan for
I
two
forgot
people
there's
going
like
home.
there's like a format you have to follow.
I think so. I think that's why they do what they do. But I also agree with you. I think if you lose an immunity challenge, you need to vote someone off. I mean, those are the rules. If you lose immunity, you vote someone off your tribe. Those are the rules.
Yeah.
So I think they still should have went to tribal. I think the format should have been edited a little bit, with the many hours of the day that they could have been going over how to change the format. You could do your double elimination twist that you wanted to do this season in another season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I also agree with you. I think they should be going to tribal, but
Yeah. And I want to talk about, Yanu, they lose again. The editors do something that they try to genuinely steer away from, which is
yeah,
telling the audience point blank who's going home. We all knew it was Banu. Everybody knew it was Banu. If you didn't think it was Banu, I don't know who the hell you thought it was.
yeah,
Because that was the writing on the wall. We see it's less of a strategic play to keep himself in the game and more of coming to terms with what is reality. Um, you know, he has some fight here and there, but you see like a lot of it is him acknowledging that it's the end of his journey. And that's all she wrote, Bono.
yeah, yeah. He's searching for his idol that he's never gonna find because Tiffany has the idol. He can't play a shot in the dark. He doesn't have a vote. Um, he was crying and screaming to God for a miracle, asking him for help, telling God, and I quote, "If you wanted to end my story so soon, you shouldn't have put me on Survivor in the first
Well,
place."
that's a thing I'm talking about earlier. Like, that's a ungrateful thing to say. Like,
Yeah, like you applied to Survivor.
dude,
If
like,
you wanted to be on, you shouldn't have applied then.
yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like, you can believe in whatever you want. I'll be the last to knock anyone on that. But it, it's you out there doing the thing.
Yeah,
I think it's just
exactly.
a passionate thing he said in the moment. It is what it is. But I just was like that was when I was kind of just like, all right, get this dude off my fucking screen, dude. All love, dude, but
Honestly,
get off my
honestly.
screen, like respectfully.
He's probably outside of the game, probably such an awesome dude to hang out with.
Oh yeah,
Such a
I bet.
nice person too, but on Survivor, get off my screen.
Yeah.
Serious. Um, the thing that upset me the most, like that did upset me a lot, but like maybe like 15 seconds after that, he's on his knees, a grown man on his knees, begging Tiffany for help.
Yeah, see, like that's like the thing I'm talking about, dude. Like that is strange behavior. Like that would make me uncomfortable.
Oh my God, Tiffany must
Like
have been
I would be
feeling
like,
so
dude,
uncomfortable.
like now I'm starting to feel like sorry for you, and that's gonna alter my decisions in these games because I'm like a sorry for you type of person. Like, don't do that. Like,
Yeah,
be a man, just talk, dude. Like, be a human being.
yeah,
Just talk about it. That's not gonna help you. And if you do that out there like that, you do that in your life, maybe. I'm sure that hasn't helped you, right? because you are yourself out there, even if but that's the thing. He's a fucking actor. I know it. I know it. I
He's a
cracked the
paid
code.
actor. Just
Yes, they're my thing. They're gonna put one on each season. Okay. There's one paid actor, okay? 41, Brad Reese. 42, Roxroy.
Roxroy, yes.
43, Gabler, and he fucking won. 44, Kane.
44K. Oh my God, the most polarizing character there had. He was barely in any confessionals, and there were either people absolutely hating him or absolutely loving him, and he was barely on the screen. It was wild.
And 45, Hannah Rose. She was like,
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
she's like, I'll take this acting gig. And she's like, wait, I can't vape? I'm
Yeah,
out.
it's like, oh, I thought I could vape. I thought I could.
No,
That's my luxury item.
now it's Banu.
Yep, now it's funny. And who's gonna be on 47 as the paid actor? We'll
Me.
find out. Yeah, exactly. Let's go.
Yeah, Christ.
But yeah, they just kept dragging it on with all of the Banu's talking to the camera and whatnot. Like, just go to tribal council already. Like, we get it.
Yeah, but we get there and they don't even vote.
That was so upsetting. That was so dumb
Yeah,
because
because what if that was actual like
what
what
if
if
they
they
were
didn't
just
vote?
pretending like it was gonna be Banu to Jeff in order to blindside Kenzie?
Well,
Like they
I think before they go into tribal, they tell a producer who they're voting for, and if it changes the tribal council, it changes. But like, I think it was one of those things where like they knew it was Banu. Like there could have been things that we didn't see in there where like Banu's just like, yeah, it's me tonight, and everyone's like, yeah, it's him. You know what I mean? Like where they flat out maybe just say it. Maybe they
Oh
didn't.
no, 100%. That is what happened.
Oh well,
Um,
yeah, maybe I saw it. I don't.
the thing is, it could be lies. This is Survivor.
Yeah, but I feel like it was in the like at that point it was in the context of like this is really what's happening.
Yeah, I guess they
But at the
must
same
like
time, they should always vote. You should always vote.
you should always yeah.
You should always vote. Even if someone quits, you should write their name down.
Because what if, even though this is probably highly unlikely, what if Banu was lying and actually did have a vote? Like the producers pretty much by not letting him vote and possibly use a shot in the dark, the producers told the tribe that Banu did
True.
in fact lose his vote, which producers should not be able to do that. You should be able to tell the truth or lie without other people knowing for a fact if they're telling the truth or lying.
True. Yeah, that's
So by not letting them vote, we know for a fact Banu did not have a vote because he couldn't use a shot in the dark, or else if he could have used a shot in the dark, they would have voted.
yeah.
So
No, you're
that's also another reason why I'm annoyed that they didn't vote. But
yeah.
because if they were planning on, because yes, I totally understand. Bonnie was definitely going home. The producers all day long kept hearing confessionals over and over and over again from Q, from Tiffany, from Kenzie. Bonnie's going home. There was no other plan in place. So obviously they were like, okay, like let's just send Bono home. But if for some reason Q wanted to vote for Kenzie and so did Tiffany, and then they're playing it up that Bonu's going home, and then Jeff says, "All right, Banu, like grab your torch." But then Q's like, "Actually, Jeff, like, is it okay if we vote?" Then like Kenzie's thinking like, "Oh shoot, am I going home? Like, why wouldn't we just let Banu go home
Yeah.
without a vote?" So I don't know.
It's true.
I always think you should vote, but
No, that's true. I'm with you. Always
yeah.
vote. Yeah.
Even with the Hannah thing last season, I thought they should have voted because they could
Well, they
have
kind of
taken
did
the
vote.
vote.
They did verbally. Like like Jeff was like,
Also, but yeah, but verbal votes can be lies.
yeah.
Because if you don't go along with the consensus of the tribe in the verbal vote, then people are going to be suspicious of who you actually are voting for.
Good
That's
point.
why verbal votes I don't like. But you know, Jeff's not going to listen to us. He's going to do whatever he wants. So
1 of 20. We should get more though. So if you're listening and you made it this far, we appreciate it.
hmm
Been a very fun season to recap so far. I know Banu ends up going home. I know we have some scenes from our next episode to talk about a bit, but before that, we have some Survivor pool picks to also talk about. So let's chat about where we are with those things.
That's right. So we had going into episode 4, 15 people left. We started with 19 in the very beginning of the pool. We had 15. Now we only have 14 left because somebody picked Banu last episode. Um, and now we move on to episode five's pick. So Pat so far and myself are both still in the pool. We're one of the 14 left. Uh, Pat picked Liz, Soda, and Tim, and I picked Banu, Q, and Kenzie. So I think I'm set up pretty well right now. Banu already went home, so I got him out of the way. Kenzie, I think, is a snuff incoming. Um, if they go either back to tribal or as an early merge boot for being the mastermind of the tribe. Um, so I think I'm sitting pretty. I also think you are too with picking Tim because it looks like Tim's going to be in trouble. So does Soda. Soda also looks like she might be in trouble. So I think we both have good picks so far, but let's see if we can keep it rolling.
Yeah, I'm gonna start it off here. Uh,
Okay.
shit. I'm between two people. I'm staying away from Yanu right now because if they lose and it's a three-person tribal, I don't know what's gonna happen. I really don't, and I don't want to play with that. Not this early.
Probably someone's going to lose their vote.
Yeah, I'm not playing with that this early. I already picked Tim, who I think is on the bottom. I don't think Mariah's. I'm going with Mariah because I don't think she's next, but I don't think she's an end gamer.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
she's like early merge, pre-merge. So
Uh, Siga scares me because I don't know because I think Tim would be the target for the guys. For the girls, I don't know if it would be Jem or Mariah. I still can't get a read on it.
yeah,
Um,
I think
with
Mariah's actually a bit of a risky pick here
yeah,
because if they do go,
because
it
she's the
could
least
land on
edited.
her. But I
She's the
don't
least edited, but at the same time, I think in the scenes for the next episode, it kind of seemed like Tim was more so leaning towards Jem being the mastermind behind it and
I
not
could see a
Mariah.
little.
So I think Tim could target Jem and Jem could target Tim. I could see that.
Yeah,
Um, so right, if I am to pick someone from Siga, it would be Mariah, but let me think about the other tribe. I'm pretty much all besides Tiffany, I picked all of the Yanu people, so I'm gonna stay away from Yanu. Um,
I know who you should take.
I know you. I think you think I should take Venus probably, right? Yeah. Hmm.
I would say Venus or Mariah.
I am going to take a pick that is probably not a risky one, but probably a too early pick. But I'm gonna go with Hunter. I think Hunter is for sure not going home anytime pre-merge, but I still can't get a read on if his low-key gameplay is going to help him get far or if his challenge strength is just going to make him an early target.
Yeah, because I see a world where both.
I can see both. I am leaning towards him still flying under the radar, even though he'll probably win every immunity challenge. But I can also see where Siga might want to target him for being a big challenge threat. So just in case he gets targeted as a physical threat early on in the merge, I'll pick him now, just to be safe. Get me one day further.
Fair. Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the safer picks you could take.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think I see your logic there. Steve, anything else about 46 episode 4, the Banu show that you want
Yeah, the Banu show is
on it?
closed. We're done with Banu. Now we're gonna have to figure out someone else to talk about.
Yeah,
It
we'll
seems
see
like
who's
he's all
next.
we talk about.
Yeah, we will see who's next. We want to thank everyone for listening to the Job Alliance podcast. Make sure to answer that trivia question via DMs, like, subscribe, share with your homies. Keep the word alive. Let's do it.
That's right.
Um,
See you guys.